Tokenization is an innovation.
We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets.
And we at the SEC should be focused on how do we advance innovation in the marketplace.
And you probably saw last week, Chairman Atkins of the SEC gave an interview about tokenization. He called it a great innovation.
The rules have not been clear. We've had regulation through enforcement. That day is over.
And we agree with that. We think tokenization is perhaps the biggest innovation to come into capital markets in the past decade.
And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger.
Tokenized stocks are the fastest growing individual assets right now, mostly on Solana. We see all these stocks tokenized: Tesla, Robinhood, Nvidia, the S&P 500, and Apple all are exploding with growth, and they all chose Solana.
Solana's the NASDAQ of the future.
That's what they want to be.
They want to be that.
There's a common misconception that Solana was built to kill Ethereum. Absolutely not. Tully was way more ambitious than that. He wanted to kill NASDAQ, and this is a talk about how we're going to do that.
So as the growth continues, how much will 10 Solana coins be worth by 2026?
I think someone said earlier that running Solana validators is like driving F1. Highly competitive, everyone's tuning.
Watch today's whole video.
You wanted to kill NASDAQ?
And this is a talk about how we're going to do that.
Like the video, get this information out there, because in fact, Solana is the fastest growing chain overall for tokenized stocks. We see the network, Solana, up over 185,000% in the last 30 days, followed by Base, that's Coinbase's layer 2 on Ethereum, followed by Algorand, followed by Arbitrum, followed by Ethereum. So if you can manage to accumulate, say, 10 SOL tokens, how much could that be worth by the end of 2026? And do we have any clues, any signal that helps us understand if the growth trajectory will continue? Because right now, Solana's economy is booming. They are one of the fastest growing chains. In fact, they have over $1 billion plus in-app revenue for 2 straight quarters, over 3,200 plus monthly active developers. This is the latest network health report with all the details. This shows application revenue by chain. In the green is Solana. In the bluish purple, the light bluish purple is Ethereum, but green Solana. The growth is undeniable. In fact, right here is where Trump launched his meme coin on Solana. The president of the United States chose to launch on Solana. Of course, we're going to have a cool down from that local top, but you see the general direction. Also, in anticipation of this upcoming market structure bill, the Clarity Act, which will decide which altcoins are commodities or securities. Commodities better, we want commodities. And for order for an altcoin or a blockchain network to be declared a commodity, we have to determine if that blockchain network is efficiently decentralized. Per the latest data, Solana remains one of the most decentralized proof-of-stake networks by node count and distribution, with over 1,295 validators across 40 countries. Solana's Nakamoto coefficient of 20 outperforms Ethereum's 6. The Nakamoto coefficient essentially tells us how decentralized is your blockchain. Solana is winning over Ethereum, and no single country or data center holds more than 33.3% of active stake. And also looking at development activity, developers are the lifeblood of Solana, and dev growth is accelerating. Solana was the #1 blockchain of new developers in 2024, with over 83% year-over-year growth. Solana is in the lead, followed by Ethereum, also Internet Computer, Aptos, Base Blockchain, all near the top, but Solana in the lead. And how I know that Solana still has more upside, because you could say, Austin, Solana is already winning. Am I too late? It seems like Solana metrics are really looking good. I wish I would have found this earlier. By the way, subscribers of Altcoin Daily did find this earlier, much earlier. The question is, did you follow and then do your own research? And it is not too late. Click subscribe to Altcoin Daily, join this team for 1 video per day, giving you an edge in crypto. Now is the time to subscribe, just 1 video per day. It's completely free. But one reason out of 3 that I know we're still early is because 7 Solana ETFs by major firms with trillions of dollars in assets have not been approved yet. I mean, Invesco Galaxy alone filed for a Solana ETF. They have over $1.8 trillion in assets under management. They're global. They're a global investment firm, as well as Fidelity, with over $800 billion plus in assets under management, are also waiting approval. Both of those companies, along with others, filed and got approved for the first ever Bitcoin spot ETFs. And we saw what happened to price.
We saw just a couple weeks ago, the SEC went to all the issuers that have filed for these Solana ETFs and basically said, come back to us, refile your prospectus documents, include staking language. And I think for them, they're knocking out two birds with one stone. One, it's a new asset class, and two, they can see the type of language that they want to put in these documents for staking, and they can work on that. If we're going to get Solana ETFs launched, they're going to launch out the gate with staking, is my base case, this year.
7 Solana ETFs have still yet to be approved, but Bloomberg ETF analysts updated their latest odds of approval for crypto spot ETFs with baskets and index funds. Litecoin and Solana are leading the pack at 90% approval odds in the year 2025. So while I think Solana truly becoming the global decentralized NASDAQ, that's years away. I don't think that'll happen by 2026. That's going to take building. I do think that if my thesis plays out, that Bitcoin will lead this market and will continue to go up, maybe hit $150,000, $170,000, $200,000 per coin by end of year or beginning of 2026. I do think 10 Solana will be much higher by 2026. If the Bitcoin price can hit, let's say, $150,000 by end of year, I think Solana can easily do a 2x, at least hit 400, 450. So that would bring the price of 10 Solana to $4,500. Of course, if the Bitcoin price can hit closer to $200,000 per coin, $250,000 per coin by the end of 2026, that's when this market starts to get a little bit more frothy. I think used assets, meaning assets with product market fit, where we're seeing the fundamentals go up and to the right, will do well. I could see the price of one Solana token between $600 and $700 per coin in a frothy market where it touches there, and then we correct for 6 months, 8 months in the standard bear market. That would bring the price of 10 Solana to $8,000 in total. But the true value of what Solana is aiming to be is much bigger.
He wanted to kill NASDAQ, and this is a talk about how we're going to do that.
If this comes into fruition, what could 10 Solana be worth? Well, let's ask an expert, one of the main builders on the Solana network, Max Resnick, speaking at Token 2049 about Solana's path to decentralized NASDAQ.
So we developed the core Agave client, which runs most of Solana. And today I'm going to talk about what the future of the tech in Solana is.
Number one, Solana can't crash all the time. You can't have a decentralized NASDAQ on a network like Solana if it crashes when it gets super active.
So the first step is, of course, increasing bandwidth.
So while the bandwidth or transactions per second TPS of Solana today is around 1,200, Visa is around 7,400, and the NASDAQ, although it's completely centralized, is around 70,000 transactions per second. The future of Solana will be 1 million transactions per second, and here's the path.
And we've committed at Anza to be at 1 million TPS by the end of the year, and we want to keep doubling, or sorry, not 1 million TPS, 100 million CU by the end of the year, and we want to keep doubling that every year, and that's our commitment, and there's a lot of really smart people working on it.
And the other major thing to understand is that people trading use the NASDAQ to buy and sell, to trade. They're just going to use the most global, efficient system that has the most liquidity with the cheapest fees. If you have a network that incentivizes a better order book and order book depth, that network will win.
The thing we really need to do to compete with NASDAQ is to provide better prices than NASDAQ. And what do we mean by better prices? We mean this little gray interval here, we want that to be as tight as possible. So I'm showing Sol USDT on Binance from earlier this month. And yeah, we have some crazy vol in crypto, so you can see that the prices don't really match up with what they are today, but this was from like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And in the middle there's the difference between the best bid and the best ask, and that's the spread. And that's really the price that you're getting. And if we want people to use Solana over NASDAQ, we need to give them a better price than NASDAQ.
So all this is multi-years in the making, 5 years, 7 to 8 years. Think where the price of Bitcoin may be in 5 to 8 years. To determine what the price of 10 Solana may be in that 5 to 8 year time frame, let's just look at the standard numbers that is projected that the global tokenization market will grow to. These are pretty standard, whether it's about, this is rounded, but 22.3% a year or 21.5% a year. It's growing. That's the point. It's going to be bigger. And while right now, global tokenization is around 6 billion, very low, by 2033, it's projected to be about 29 billion. 29 divided by 6 is about a 5x. Let's round up, because I think at that time, as we're growing, as crypto goes into its renaissance, we will get periods of hypey, frothiness in markets as well. So dare to dream, let's round this up to 5x. That means I think the price of Solana in that 5 to 8 year window could be 5x larger. That puts the price of one Solana just under $1,000 per coin, and of course puts the price of 10 Solana at just under $10,000 per coin. Is this jaw-dropping? Do you think this is an underrepresentation or an overrepresentation? Maybe let's add on meme coins, just like now the official Trump meme coin. Maybe we get that whole market opens up. Maybe it's closer to $1,500 or closer to $2,000 per coin. Again, dare to dream. Comment down below what you think. Reading comments. Let's all read the comment section together. And for a limited time, anybody looking to buy, sell, or trade Solana, if you deposit any amount of money up to $1,000, you'll get an instant 20% deposit bonus immediately if you trade, meaning that's free money to ape into Solana or any altcoin you want, pretty much. Link down below, only with code Altcoin. Take advantage of the freebies. They will not last forever. This is just to incentivize you to start trading on WeX Exchange, which is an exchange partner. Link down below. And like always, see you tomorrow.